Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou post-fight show. You're probably saying to yourself, "Hey, BWTM Sports, the fight's over a week and a half ago. Why are you doing the post-fight now?" I'll explain. Stay tuned. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Yep, Fury versus Ngannou, the post-fight show, which isn't quite post-fight. This is kind of like post-fight 2 weeks later, almost. But I figured to myself, every time there's a post-fight, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's, I thought, you know what? When it's a little quiet, then I'm going to do my post-fight show. So probably more people are going to watch it because less people are going to be talking about it. So I thought I'd talk about it in a kind of like retrospective sort of way, and then share my views and thoughts on a lot of things. So you're going to have to be a BWTM Sports fan for a while. So as I backtrack on this, I think it was about two and a half years ago, I did a video on UFC fighters converting into boxers. And the one man I said, if I could manage them into their heavyweight division, would be Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, I said, this guy, I think he's got the fundamentals boxing ability. I think if he converts from UFC to boxing, he'd do well for himself. I said it. I said it way before people were even considering Francis Ngannou convert into like boxing. I said it. I said it. And people who are honest on BWTN Sports will remember. Good evening, Liam. Hope you're well. People who are honest and will remember what I said on BWTN Sports way ago about Francis Ngannou will say, you know what, Ingram? You were right about Francis Ngannou. But let's move on. So the fight is made. Do you know the only people that are exposed, not Tyson Fury, not Francis Ngannou, not the promoters, but these journalists or so-called boxing experts that didn't think A, this was going to be a good fight, and B, Francis Ngannou was an amateur. Now, the people that keep spewing out such rubbish on national platforms and people that are puppets for rival promotions and journalists who supposedly have seen boxing for years, who call this a circus and gave Francis Ngannou no chance and thought Tyson was just going to walk out there and knock him out, should feel embarrassed and ashamed and should be exposed. All the people that said that Francis Ngannou was rubbish and couldn't box and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and this fight was going to be a circus and blah, 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 all them people there need to be exposed because week in, week out, we're hearing from these people. Who are these people? Are they credible? And if you listen to I remember when I used to do boxing predictions like all the time, and people say, you got this prediction wrong. You got that prediction wrong. If half the hell that I would get for making a boxing prediction now, those people would get, they would not even be in the sport of boxing today. I can tell you that now. There are a lot of people that are ill-informed and don't know anything about boxing. How can you look at Francis Ngannou, a man that's been in the ring, in the octagon, not just having to worry about punches, kicks, elbows, getting his knee twisted, his arm broken, bent back, and getting seriously concussed, not just by punches, but kicks as well. How can you say this guy can't fight and doesn't know anything about distance and timing and punching? He's a striker. So the minute this man, Ngannou, gets in the ring, he's a striker. That's what he knows what to do. He knows how to get into position and look and let his hands go. That is what he does by trade. He is a striker. And before he was going into UFC, he was boxing. This guy was always a threat. I said it in the pre-fights. I said it. Tyson Fury, watch yourself. But what we got was a grossly overweight Tyson Fury thinking he could do what he did to Derek Chisora and Dillian Wyatt, both guys who didn't have the will in them to actually win a fight. And then you came against an African king who didn't come for the money. Clearly, he came to win. And that was a problem. That guy, Francis Ngannou, was there to cause the upset. And as far as I'm concerned, Francis Ngannou beat Tyson Fury. And I'm going to lay out for you as to why I believe Francis Ngannou beat Tyson Fury. First of all, Tyson Fury going into that fight was not the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. That belt was not on the line. Instead, they were fighting for a WBC sort of special belt they were fighting for. So Tyson Fury wasn't the champion. He was the champion outside the ring as the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, one of the heavyweight champions of the world, one of the belt holders. Let's remember Alexander Usyk has the unified heavyweight championships of the world, and Tyson once held them, yes. But on that night, Tyson was not the champion. Therefore, you can't go and say, well, you've got to take the belt off the champion. He wasn't the champion on the night. He was fighting for a belt, as was Francis Ngannou fighting for a belt. So nobody was champion on that night. Second, Tyson was knocked down in that fight. So you score that 10-8 round. And if the referee was doing his job properly, with that elbow that Tyson blatantly threw, that would have been a point deducted. So he ducked the point. Tyson's been dropped. 50-50 exchanges. And then take away from the point that Tyson not being a champion, you can't give him the nod. And I warned you all from the start of this fight that if it goes to the judges, there's no way Ngannou will win because they've already set up a super fight with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. No way in hell. And if people believe that that fight was going to be won on points, they don't understand how corrupt the sport of boxing is. We have to look at boxing for what it is and not how we like it. Because if boxing was for what it is, or how people would like it, Fury would have lost that fight. Oscar De La Hoya would have lost against Felix Sturm the night they fought. People get pushed through into fights and given victories, not because they deserve it, but because there's a bigger paycheck and there's more money in the kitty for the next fight, so people could turn a blind eye. If that was an ordinary fight on a small hall show, or it was a white collar fight, and Ngannou would have got the nod. That's it. So that's what I've got to say about that. In terms of Tyson Fury and him being out of shape, well, their heavyweight history landscape has got Lennox Lewis as another example of a guy who was ill-prepared for when he went to fight Hasim Rahman. He was ill-prepared to fight Hasim Rahman and got knocked out. Going to South Africa, arriving a week or two beforehand, warned by the South African doctors and the sports scientists out there, you need a month to acclimatize or you'd be gasping for breath. The oxygen levels for you need to acclimatize. Lennox Lewis didn't do that. He didn't acclimatize. You saw what happened. Lewis got knocked out. Came back in America, knocked Rahman out. Not the first time. I believe he was doing Ocean's 11. Wasn't prepared. Tyson Fury, what was he doing? Netflix. You see, it seems to me that these guys, when they get to a certain level, I don't know if the Rocky Marciano curse, but they begin to get to a certain level where there are distractions, unnecessary distractions. Mike Tyson, Tokyo, all the women, and all the rest of that in Tokyo. There seem to be always distractions, and Tyson Fury is very close to being distracted by Francis Ngannou, by other things outside the ring. There's clearly things going on that was outside of Shane Fury's control, and he was actually sitting back and watching things happening and unfolding in front of his face that he couldn't speak about, but he knew weren't right. So Fury was in no shape, no shape condition-wise to be, in a ring against Francis Ngannou. But he got through the fight. He fielded his way through the distance. He did. But Tyson Fury, as far as I'm concerned, his legs have gone. Tyson Fury now is just a guy who relies on weight, physical strength, and overpowering an opponent. It's not about skill so much anymore. When people talk about Tyson Fury and skill, you're now going back to the days of when he fought against Klitschko. Those days where he was moving his head and stuff. More he's kind of like standing in front of guys now and trying to walk them back. When he tried to do that against Ngannou, a guy who's physically stronger than him, a guy that's better than him in the clinches because of the UFC, it all backfired for Tyson. All backfired. Imagine Francis Ngannou who's catching and shooting. Fury goes boom, boom, throws the same combination again, gets greedy, boom, boom, dropped. How can you throw the same combination twice? Do you know that same combination that Tyson Fury threw was the same combination that Harold Graham threw against Julian Jackson? And Julian Jackson was half blind that night. And Harold Graham had Jackson the ropes. Bang, bang, he went to throw the same combination. Bang, and he went to throw the right hand. The left hook came over the top, and that was the end of Harold Graham. Go back and look at the fight. So for me, am I surprised Fury went down? No. Am I surprised that Ngannou did what he did? No. Would I be surprised if Usyk beat Fury? No. Because you go, what are you listening to? A lot of the people are talking bad about Frank's promotion because it's Frank Warren. And then when Eddie does a show, they talk bad about Eddie rather than talk sense about not the promotion or the promoter, talk about the fights that are going on. That's what you should be doing. Talking about the fights. But boxing today has become a pantomime. I told you years ago, boxing is going to end up like WWE, scripted fights, and promoters are. It's like Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon. That's what it's become. WWE at its finest or its lowest. That's what boxing's become. Every week it's what promoter said about what promoter. What this promoter said this about you. That promoter said that about you. Journalists coming up, or not journalists, people with microphones coming and saying, did you hear what he said about you? Did you hear what that person said about you? Let's talk about skill and tactics and, boxing science, and more talk about, I'm going to punch you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And actually, when you get in the ring, nothing actually gets done. More theatrics, more style over substance, more guys talking a good talk and less actual good fights happening in the ring. Liam, let me hear what you're saying here. Let me see what you're saying. He says, but boxing, I meant, is a specialist sport. All Tyson's done his whole career, he throws hands. His muscle memory with Tyson being number one heavyweight at the time should have been more than enough. Porky was saying the same, man, controls both Fury and AJ, and he's not a promoter. That's probably no surprise. Probably of no surprise. Probably no. How many times have we heard that, one person is controlling both opposition? So I guess that's the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. So, yeah. On a lighter note, Deontay Wilder is now in MMA, or he's training to do MMA. I don't know where we're going with that. I think they're trying to freeze Deontay Wilder out of the heavyweight division. That's what I noticed there. Martin Bakodi, congratulations. But again, we fight with chin in the air. It's only a matter of time that somebody cracks that. FA Jagba, congratulations. Good to see him fighting. Good to see him winning. I wouldn't mind watching FA Jagba versus Martin Bakodi. I think that'd be a great fight. Fabio Wally, congratulations. Unlucky David Adelaide. Bro, making too many excuses and sore loser. And if you don't make the adjustments, then you won't go beyond British level. You have to make the adjustments. You have to admit where you lost. You have to have people around you that are not yes people, that people are going to actually bring you down to earth and give you the boxing know-how. Because what I see of you and what I saw of you when you were doing all that talking after the fight, it seemed to me that you didn't give the man credit for beating you, and you should have given the man credit for beating you. I said, you know what? Hands up, the better man won. Oh, I could have continued fighting. No, you couldn't. That was ego talking. Oh, you know, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. No, Fabio Ward is a better fighter than you, more experienced fighter than you. You can come again, but you've got to make adjustments. If you don't make adjustments, if you don't change your mindset, you will end up being no better than British level because you failed at British level. And if you don't make the adjustments, you will continue to fail at British level. The public took it easy on Tyson. Well, they always do. They always will do, won't they? They always will take it easy on Tyson. That's just the way it is now. That's, you know, the establishment of control that situation now, because before Tyson wasn't the golden boy. Remember, Tyson getting trashed all the time. And then Tyson went away. He came back. And when he came back, he came like a superstar. You know, and Tyson came back. So it is what it is with Tyson Fury. But, you know, you better be careful against Alexander Usyk. I'm telling you now. Now he's talking about retirement again. Alexander Usyk, if he doesn't fight on December the 23rd, I'm going to sue it. We're going to sue him. End of the fight. Yeah. We'll see you next year. Tyson Fury is the king of contradictions. You can't take anything Tyson Fury says seriously. I've said this since his comeback. I wasn't talking out my backside. All the times I used to interview Tyson, I knew that you say one thing here today and swerve and say something tomorrow. You can't take anything Tyson says literally or seriously unless he's in the situation where he's fighting. Then that's it. I think, you know, Tyson Fury's style has been modeled since the Deontay Wilder fights, and that's the way he's going to be forever now. That's it. And I think it's going to go downhill from here. Shane Fury saying, yeah, you know, I hope Tyson is going to be better for the next fight. But how do you know from this point onwards, after he took a shellacking before he beat Wilder, right? And then he fought two easy fights, not easy fights, but non-testing fights against Chisora and against White, been out the ring a year and then coming back. And Ngannou was out the ring 2 years. 2 years. And he did that. 2 years to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a good champion. But all this stuff is going to be all-time great, best heavyweight of all time. That's a whole load of rubbish. A whole load of rubbish. It's a load of rubbish. I wonder if Tyson Fury could beat Big George Foreman. Could he have beaten George Foreman? Could he have beaten Ernie Shavers? Right? Would he have beaten Mike Tyson? I don't know. I don't think so. It's going to be a rematch before Fury fights Usyk. Oh dear. Yeah, that's the way to get out of that situation. Fight Ngannou and hope that Usyk retires. That's what I think you're trying to do. Just delay the Usyk fight. Make sure he gets slower because his pace, his speed is what is a problem here. If you take Usyk's legs away, then he's pretty ordinary. But his speed of foot and movement around the ring is what makes him very good. Good evening, Denise. Ingram, man, I've been trying to hit you. Really? Well, I'm on my WhatsApp, so I'm there. So yeah, that's how it is. That's how I kind of see it. But you know me, you're getting big time. You're getting big time on me. I was at a championship for the week. So I don't know, I'm getting big time on you. No, I'm not getting big time. I always was big time. You can't get what you already are, bro. Can't get what you already are. I'm teasing you. But and for those people who are watching, just an update. The championship we went to, I was in Abuja. One of my female players, got voted most promising player by the Nigerian Cricket Federation and may get a call up. Well, she may get a call up to train with the national side. So just keep working and keep working and keep working. So that was great. So my team came third, but my team was like I said before, my team was like a village team versus state teams. So like the best in the state versus the best team, on your street corner. It's kind of like it is. But next time we'll be better prepared because we'll have players from all 6 districts of the state, and I'll be able to pick the best players from that after a year and go. What did you think of Bangladeshi sportsmanship play? I think when you're desperate, and I think when you try in the heat of the moment and you're desperate and you really want to win, you go by any means necessary. And if your mindset is by any means necessary, forget the spirit of cricket. If you offer me spirit of cricket or take a chance and do what he did to get into the finals, I'll do what he did to get into the finals. It is what it is. The fight was the biggest pay-per-view this year. Okay. I hear the pay-per-view did poorly. That's what I heard as well. But you don't know. You don't know. You never know of any of these things that are being said, to be honest with you. I thought Spence Crawford was the biggest this year. Interesting fight. Benavidez versus Andrade. A fight I'm really looking forward to seeing Jamal Charlo back, but he's with Roy Jones Jr. and I don't know what the hell Roy Jones is going to do with Jamal Charlo. I thought Jamal Charlo was a very good fighter. Now Roy Jones has got his hands on him. Who knows? I see Fury spiraling into some another depression. I think he retires, Ingram, before Christmas. Yeah, probably. Won't be surprised. Only 445,000 pay-per-views sold in the US. Well, with all these things, there's an agenda. Remember, it's media. And anything that passes through media, you just got to wonder who is saying what and why. Jaloloff versus Wardley. No, let's not have that fight. Let's avoid that fight. Let's not have that fight. Yeah, my guy, Richard Riakporhe's back. Looking forward to seeing him fight. I think he's one of the best cruiserweights in the world. Don't want to speak too soon. Want to see him fight him. F.A. Ajagba versus that guy that fought on the weekend. I swear, that fight looked... No. That fight looked like it was in slow motion. And then the guy Goddard, the guy fought a guy called Stephen Shaw. Go and look at that fight on Top Rank. That fight was like... If the Ajagba fight was in slow motion, that fight was even more slow motion. Fight kind of exposed Fury for the fraud he is. He should retire, really. He looked awful without his something and paddless gloves. Well, interesting. Do you think is that what it was? In the US, however, worldwide it did. Okay. Coach Chris, there's people laughing. Makhmudov is a beast too. Oh, Jesus Christ. Forget Makhmudov. That guy's hype. He's proper hype. He's got a big head and a big body. He seems a nice guy. He is hype. Do you know how you know a guy's hype? Look how big a platform that was. And that big stiff idiot was fighting who? A guy who couldn't even walk in a straight line. Come on. Who was that dude? That dude, I could have got a dude out of the audience to fight better than that dude. Come on, man. Stop it. Makhmudov. Jesus. Stop talking about Makhmudov. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Wait. Wait and see him get. He'll get chinned soon. Don't worry. When he fights somebody half decent, he'll get chinned. Wait. Did you see Chris Eubank's senior interview? Now claim Harlan Eubank his new son. Yeah. That's not going to end well. I can assure you that will not end well. Strong amateur career, humble, hardworking. Yeah. I could say that about 100,000, 200,000 amateurs and pros. Just because you've got a name with an Ev at the end, Makhmudov, it makes you something special. No, the guy is a fraud. Just big. He's a fraud. I respect Valuev more than I respect him. I respect Valuev more than I respect Makhmudov because he's hype. If you're any good, you don't fight that sort of garbage on a big stage. On a big stage, you fight somebody who's decent. I doubt the Saudis care. This is more a mega marketing campaign, and I won't lie, the show was fire. The concert was definitely cool, but Fury embarrassed himself on boxing. Makhmudov is just a big lump. Thank you very much. Great to see Denise and Coach Chris in here. Yeah, it's great to see them both. Yeah. So, yeah, Makhmudov is big and just big lump. That's it. Garbage. Absolute garbage. You were the only boxing podcast that said Francis had a chance. He is a problem. Yeah, but I call anybody who's honest. Anybody's honest and can remember what I said 2 years ago. Francis Ngannou will be a problem if he turns into heavyweight boxing. Now watch this. Watch the play here. They're going to use Joseph Parker. If Francis Ngannou is stupid enough to take that Joseph Parker fight, let me tell you something. Francis Ngannou is anti-establishment, or the way I look at it. He will do things the way he wants to do them. And he's already upset the establishment by dropping Fury on his ass and making embarrassing Tyson Fury. He does not go by the script. And when you don't go by the script, people make you suffer for that afterwards. And he's now going to go and try and fight Joseph Parker. That fight, I would advise him to stay clear of. Fight people that you can knock over. Fight 2 or 3 people you can knock over, Francis. Do not fight Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is a problem for you. Fast hands, quick, good on your feet, could knock you out of both hands. Good amateur pedigree, former world champion, in shape. Do not fight Joseph Parker. Bad move. Because you get beat by Joseph Parker, where does that put you? That's what I call the measuring stick fight. That's where people say, is that Ngannou really that good? Or is Tyson Fury really that bad? So let's get me with Joseph Parker, because we know what Joseph Parker's like. He's not good enough to beat Joe Joyce, but he's good enough to beat Simon Keane. So we need to find out where Ngannou is. So that is the yardstick fight. That's a yardstick fight. That's the establishment looking for a yardstick. Or Zhilei Zhang. Well, we know Zhilei Zhang knocked out Joe Joyce. We know Zhilei Zhang is a southpaw and he hits hard with the left hand. How good is Francis Ngannou? So people trying to find out how good Francis Ngannou is. If I'm Francis Ngannou, I take a tick-over fight. Because everyone's talking about me now. So take a fight where I can knock somebody over. Take a fight. You know what? Go fight Dillian Whyte. Go fight Dillian Whyte. Go fight Dillian Whyte. Or if I'm going to take a fight and take a chance, fight Anthony Joshua. Why? Because Joshua is a man that's reluctant to fight. He's a guy who hasn't got the greatest of chins. He's vulnerable to getting caught with a left hook. And Francis can take a good shot. And in the clinches, Francis will rough up Joshua. So I will take Francis Ngannou against Anthony Joshua and take the fight and make it a mega fight either in Saudi Arabia or in Africa. And that's what I would do. You don't want to fight Wilder, fight Ngannou and show that you're better than Tyson Fury. And then that fight, if you were to beat Francis Ngannou, then you could justify yourself going and fight Tyson Fury because you were the man to stop Francis Ngannou when Fury got dropped by him. That's how I would have made that fight. But no way. Thank you for appreciating that. I appreciate that, Dola. Apparently Doughboy's fighting him. Francis Ngannou, Doughboy. I don't know. I think that fight's a very dangerous fight for Ngannou as well. You've got to look at styles. I want a fight that's not gonna be ducking and coming in, and I don't want a guy like that against Ngannou, and neither do I want a guy like Joseph Parker who could box from the outside. I want a guy that's like Dillian White, who's pretty vulnerable now. A guy like him, fight Dillian White. Anybody who's a bit chinny, anybody who doesn't take a shot very well, there. Because if it's not going right, you know Ngannou's still got the punching power, right? I don't want a guy who takes a really good shot and messes him around and stuff. I think the difference between boxing and MMA is less drastic at heavyweight. A lot of time, it still comes down to size, power, stamina at heavyweight. Yep. France's coach, Dewey Cooper, trains boxers and MMA. Yeah. I think as well, I think Tyson Fury's intel probably didn't give him the information that he needed against Francis. That's what I think. Usually he gets good intel. I don't know if the intel was the same for Francis and Ngannou. So, yeah. For you football fans, I will be probably managing Manchester United. Well, I am managing Man United on FC24, on FIFA FC24 now. Check it out. Do manager mode. Really loving it. Got my Portsmouth side up to the Premiership, but now I'm managing Man United. So enjoy that. So far, I've re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo, and I've brought in Osimhen. Who else did I sign in? Got rid of Maguire. Got rid of Lindelof. What else to get rid of? And a few others I got rid of as well. Anthony got rid of as well. So, yeah. All right. Let me get out of here. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Like, subscribe, share the videos. And, yeah. Going to do some big things with this channel shortly. It's time to revamp and do some things. I want to bring the world that I'm in at the moment and combine it with the world of boxing and football as well, and bring it together and bring some new media people on board. Something I wanted to do in England, I'm going to try and do I'm going to do in Africa now. New faces on board, bringing different sports and things together. And by the way, TNT 24, TNT TV, which I'm on, the national sports channel in Nigeria, I'm on it every week. Now it's on YouTube, so you can watch the live coverage on YouTube. So I'll send you the link. You also link for that as well. Comments. Great to be here. Thanks, Adam. Fish eyes on major damage control round. Dillian still has to explain the 4 failed test in combat career. Yeah, good point. All I know is if AJ doesn't fight Wilder next, I don't ever want to hear about AJ again. Anybody know how AJ is? The last time I heard, he was locked in a dark room for 4 days. Please send the link. I will do. I'll post it on my Facebook wall. Right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And as always, thank you for watching BWTM Sports. We appreciate you.